Wholesalers, consider this before quitting. Guys, this is Rick Ginn, and this video is really important to me. And it doesn't matter how that thought entered your mind, but what I want to do today is show you why you're evaluating the wrong material and how to get back on track so you never quit wholesaling. But before I do it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so others can find this channel so they can get the truth about wholesaling. So let me ask you, did you really think wholesaling was going to be easy as everybody sold it to you? Of course not. This is the big fat lie everybody tells you. Listen, you know wholesalers, to be truly successful at your craft, you got to be a really good marketer. So why do you think wholesalers are using this marketing craft, this genius, and they're flipping the script? I'm going to be honest with you. It's easier to flip students than it is houses. That's a fact. There's a lot more opportunity for people to sit in the studio and do it. That's why you guys are told the great white lie, how wholesaling's so easy. And then the only time they tell you it's hard is when they have another product for you to buy. They're smart. You've got to be smarter about it. So let's walk through on how this is happening and why it's happening. So let's start like this. Everybody can relate to this story. Think about the first time you rode a bike. And if you rode a bike, the reality is most of you bugged your parents or your dad or your mom, whoever it was, your niece, your nephew, your aunt. And you were so excited about riding that bike, you couldn't wait for the opportunity. So the first time somebody showed interest and said, hey, let's go out, let me show you how to ride the bike. It was like game on. You were like so excited, you were so engaged. And deep down, you were a little bit scared, but your wantingness to ride the bike overrode your fear of getting hurt, scraped, and bruised. In fact, when you went out there, you probably skinned your knee, you might have scraped your head. Heck, I even ran into a fire hydrant when I first did it and busted my teeth open. It didn't stop me. I just kept going. You know why? Because I wanted it so bad. Now, I want you to imagine this. Imagine if one of your parents handed you a book or a video on riding a bike. You've been like, are you kidding me? And like, this is the equivalent of what you're doing with wholesaling. You guys got a video, you probably went to a webinar, or worst off, you went to one of those in-person pitch fest, I call them cheering events, and you got all excited about everything everybody else did, but you didn't get any real practicality from it. And then you took this information, you tried to apply it, you struggled with it. You're trying to take the same technique as riding a bike, but you're being sold theory. And theory, my friends, does not work in wholesaling. In fact, wholesaling is one of the few businesses where you just have to take guided action and you got to take a ton of it and you got to take it quickly. The worst thing you can do is study wholesaling for months on end. Heck, I've heard of people studying it for years on end. And what I want you to do to get started is you go over to freewholesaling.com. You get started there. It's a 100% free course. You know the drill. And you read a chapter and then you take action. You see, a lot of you are skipping the action part. You're just talking. And talking's not going to get you anywhere in wholesaling. In fact, nobody cares about your story. They don't care about your feelings. And the more you just keep talking and taking less action, the worse it's going to be. Or you're one of these people that took a little bit of action and it freaked you out. And then you have the story that you're telling yourself that you can't do it, or worst off, you're making an excuse and you're trying to validate your story. Cut that crap out. It's not going to get you in wholesaling. Nobody cares about your background. They don't care about your financial past, and they really don't care about your feelings and if they're being hurt in the process. You see, wholesaling doesn't care. It moves forward every day with or without you. You have to make a decision if you're going to come along. So I'm going to share with you a host of tips if you're even considering quitting wholesaling. And I want you to go through this process in the exact order I'm going to give it to you. Number one, do you overthink what other people think about you, particularly your wholesaling business? And if you do, you're probably done right out the gate. And you got to stop doing this. Why? 98% of the world doesn't wholesale. So when you go outside of wholesaling, you leave the camera with me and Zach or whoever else you network with, and you tell them about your wholesaling, you tell them how excited you are, you are going to scare them, you're going to make them uncomfortable, and they're going to give you back their biased opinion, meaning they're going to do what best serves them. And if they don't like what you're doing and you're scaring them, you're making them uncomfortable, they're going to purposely sabotage you. I've had this happen in my own wholesaling career. Don't be shocked if it's happening to you. The problem is you took that message and you went outside with it. Nobody cares. In fact, if they don't understand it and they don't know it, they're probably going to shoot you down. And then you put validity to those statements. Their opinions don't matter. And here's the toughest one, guys. When you're dealing with your parents and you're young, It's tough. I followed my parents, and I'm living an example that my parents did not financially teach me the things I needed to know. And it's one of the main reasons why I come on this camera is your parents love you and they want you to be safe and happy. But if you don't want to be your parents' financial footsteps, if you follow their exact advice, you're going to get the same result. I guarantee it. Remember, money has proximity to the people you hang out with. If you're watching this video and say you're 17 or 18, it doesn't mean disrespect your parents. You have to take control of your financial future because you're the one who has to take that ride. So don't let old beliefs, misconceptions, anyone that tells you to save to become rich is some of the worst advice you can get. So unless I have a bank count snap-a-shot in front of me, and yours is significantly more than mine, I will never take advice from somebody that does not have the financial savvy that you're aiming to get. So a lot of times it starts with your parents. Love them, respect them, but if they don't know what they're talking about financially, you've got to make a decision because the reality is they won't be there every day to support you. And the reality is you probably want to be on your own anyways. So you're going to have to take the risk. So don't follow bad advice. It doesn't work. The next thing is, how are you measuring your wholesaling success? I know what you guys are going to say, well, I take the KPIs and I was taught to do this and that. Like, honestly, the reality is your KPIs are going to suck in the beginning anyways. There's only 2 KPIs that really matter to me. You ready for this? If you want to count it, how many leads do you process a day? How much action do you take every day? Like if I wrote it out, how many cold calls did you make? How many doors did you knock on? How many reverse driving for dollar leads did you grab? How many driving for dollar leads do you have? How many re-events did you go to? How many people did you network? How many services did you use to pull list? How many courts did you go to pull probates, pre-foreclosures? How many fire stations did you go or call to get the fire damaged properties? How many arrest records did you get? Do you see? A lot of times we tell us one story, but the data shows us another one. So what I want you to do is when you look at this stuff, I want you to step outside and look as an unbiased third party and ask yourself, am I measuring the right KPIs? You see, most of you are measuring input. How many contracts did I write? How many deals did I close? In the beginning, the numbers aren't going to be good because you're not used to doing this and you're new to it. So instead of managing your input KPIs, manage your output ones. So I already shared 2 of you. First one, how much action do you take today? Like how many techniques did you use? And number 2, how many leads did you generate? And if you'll just shift your success from input versus output and understand to drive the needle, you're going to have to do the fundamentals of wholesaling. How do you expect to get fully executed contracts if you're not going to pull enough leads and take enough actions? But you're measuring how many contracts you've written and how many deals you've assigned, but you're missing the high amount of activity that you need. The next thing is we've got to manage your expectations. The reality is most of you came into wholesaling and let's face it, you thought it was going to be super easy. The reality is it's going to take 10 times what you ever thought it was going to be. It's just the truth. Why? That's how I felt. That's how my son felt. And that's how everybody I've ever dealt with Flip with Rick. They're like, I thought I could do it here, but I found out I had to be way up here to even have a shot. It's the truth. The sooner you accept the truth, the easier it is to fix your problem. You're going to have to 10x your effort. You're going to have to start accounting for days. You get 24 hours in a day, you get 7 days a week. If you really want it, you go after and get it. If you want to be lazy, you want everything handed to you, wholesaling's not going to work out and maybe you do need to quit. The second part of your expectation is this is a KPI that I can't measure for you. Only you can measure it by being honest to yourself. And you simply have to ask yourself this question every day. Am I giving it my best today? Meaning, did I go out and get as many leads as possible? Did I take the appropriate amount of action as much as I humanly possibly can? And if you felt you've done your best today and you've pushed through it, meaning you've done it during days when you didn't feel good, maybe you were sick and you still pushed through. Maybe you had another obligation that night and you had to get up early in the morning and work through your leads. It doesn't matter. You've got to get better every day. And the only way to do it is push yourself on a daily basis. And if you can look in the mirror and answer that question honestly, you're never going to quit wholesaling. It's just the truth. Listen, guys, I'm here to tell you the easy option is quitting. And that's why a lot of people talk about it. It takes 0 effort to quit something. 0. And the only way you fail in wholesaling is by quitting. Think about this. Thomas Edison had to go through 10,000 failures before he figured out how to make a light bulb work. Can you imagine if he quit that entire time? Where would you? You might be in the dark right now. I don't know. Somebody would eventually figure it out. But what I'm here to tell you is Failing is actually normal. And we're taught in society between our schools, our parents, and everybody we grew up with, failing's bad. Failing's great. Failing gives you lessons in life, and those lessons are what causes you to grow. So understand that quitting's super easy. And I'm going to just say it, quitting is for losers. So if you got into wholesaling, regardless of the reason you got here, maybe you got tricked by a guru or something, well, show them what you're made of and just go do it. Number one, you can't quit. If you quit, you lose and the game's over, and I can't help you out. There's nothing I can say to you. But I want to leave you with this. Before you quit, here's a simple exercise that works for everybody, including myself, is I want you to picture your 90-year-old self sitting in a rocking chair, talking to your great-grandchildren and telling them about your life. And you know what? There's so many old people that have a lifetime of regrets. You know what are regrets? Regrets are when you quit something. What could have been? I could have been the greatest wholesaler ever. I just gave up because I got tired with it. I could have, I should have. And you know what? Thomas Edison didn't sit in his rocking chair and talk about the 9,999 times he failed. He's only remembered for the one time he won. And that's all you need to do. I'm here to tell you in wholesaling, you're going to fail more than you succeed in the beginning because that's the way the business is designed. Why do people not tell you? Because it doesn't sell in courses. The truth is you're going to fail. And the more you fail, the faster you learn. And the faster you learn, the quicker you become to a profitable wholesaling business. So right now, you're in your rocking chair as an old man or a woman. Are you going to look back on this moment and go, man, I knew wholesaling was the ticket to become financially free and get freedom of my time. But my friends and my family put so much pressure on me. I went back to that safe job and I just played it safe. I can't imagine what life would have been. Guys, don't go in your rocking chair at 9 years old and have this massive regret. Give it all you've got. Remember, the only way you lose in wholesaling is by quitting. So what I want you to do is just kind of run through this video. I hit you with a lot of stuff, but go through that checklist. And guys, I've been there. I felt like quitting before, but I just wanted a better life. You are going to have rough days in wholesaling, just like anything else in life. The key is you just got to press forward and you got to keep doing it. You only fail if you quit. I know you're not a quitters. And guys, imagine yourself as an old person in your rocking chair. I don't want you to have any regrets. I just want you to tell about all the wins. And here's the secret. To get to those wins, you're going to have to go through some hardships. Nobody in wholesaling has ever had it super easy. And it doesn't matter how much money you got or where you came from. Everybody goes on what we call the wholesaling journey. The question is, are you a winner? You're just going to keep fighting through, or are you going to quit? Quitter for losers. I know that's not you. So guys, listen, let me know in the comments, are you going to stick with wholesaling? And as usual, listen, if you got value from this video and you enjoy videos just like that, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find this channel so they can get the truth about wholesaling so we can help them be successful. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you in the next video.